Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, gas prices are spiking across the country and people are feeling the financial strain.
Higher gas prices really are affecting my livelihood.
I'll tell you though, it's making me think about getting an electric car sooner than later.
This morning we're going 360 in depth on the rising prices at the pump and the changes drivers are making.
And the war in Ukraine, of course, driving the sudden increase. This morning, Russia is issuing a temporary ceasefire to let civilians leave the hardest hit cities.
And it's a potential game changer for fighting wildfires. A company is developing a drone to get crucial equipment to fire crews at any time. Even with all that snow over the weekend, Colorado's still in a drought, and it seems like it's always wildfire season. We'll explain how those robots, though, could make a difference. Good morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. We are getting another round of snow moving in tonight. Until then, we can enjoy a little bit of a warm up today, Lisa.
Yeah, this will probably be your warmest and driest day to get the dogs out for a walk. We're looking at teens this morning. It's chilly. We'll see sunshine, but by this afternoon between 4 and 5, right around 40 degrees, and then increasing clouds tonight and a change tomorrow. We're going to add on to some of these snowfall totals. March is typically our snowiest month, and so far it's been, well, after a week of 70s, it's been pretty snowy. 19 degrees in Denver right now. Southwesterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's a cold start, especially if you're up and through the foothills. Conifer and Evergreen right now, just below 10 degrees. Same thing there in Blackhawk and in Nederland, right around 6 to about 8. We will hit highs close to 40 today, though, so again, a little bit warmer, more melting this afternoon until we get this on top of it. That snow is going to get going north up near Longmont and Fort Collins by early tomorrow afternoon, and then it's going to start to push farther south during the commute. That's right around 6 to about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll have more details on the timing of this storm and how much we're expecting coming up.
And right now we do have this situation, really one situation across Metro Denver that's causing the significant slowing. Otherwise, it's just traffic volume around town, which you can see in most places. But it's over here in Aurora on I-225, just south of 6th Avenue, right over 2nd Avenue. Take a look. A little bit ago, Air Tracker 7 was over it, and there was this tent here set up right in the median between the northbound and southbound lanes of I-225. And with that situation, with some of the flashing lights and the folks that are helping out that person in the tent, you have traffic slowing down significantly because of it. You can see on the travel time right now, we're looking at about 25 minutes or so getting through Aurora right now. So that's one of the slower drives. A lot of heavy traffic on I-70 with some stop and go traffic there. 270 getting into downtown. Also seeing some stop and go traffic there. So plenty of sunshine to deal with, but the road conditions are so much better today than yesterday. At least today, I'm not seeing anybody in the ditch, which is thumbs up for us.
We do have some breaking news we're following this morning. President Biden is expected to announce a ban on Russian oil imports, toughening the U.S. response to the Ukraine invasion. He'll make that announcement here in about 90 minutes, and we'll bring that to you live.
The move, first reported by the Associated Press, would toughen the toll on the Russian economy in retaliation for the invasion of Ukraine. Both of Colorado's U.S. senators support the move, and the House could vote on a proposal as soon as today. Of course, right now we're all feeling the squeeze at the gas pump. Depending on where you live, prices have gone up 40 to 65 cents in just the last week.
This morning we're going 360 in depth on the rising cost of filling up, breaking down prices today, what's causing the increase, some potential solutions from the Biden administration, and how prices are impacting our driving habits. So we start with what we're paying right now. This is the latest Colorado map from AAA. The red areas on the map indicate where drivers are paying the most. Most of the counties in the mountains there. Blue is where the lower prices are, and that's mainly in the metro and on the eastern plains. Today, the average price for regular gas in Colorado is $3.84 a gallon. That's up 45 cents in just the last week, but still below our record high, which was back in July of 2008 when the average price was $4.09.
AAA says part of the increase is just basic supply and demand. On the supply side, OPEC is promising only modest production increases. Meanwhile, as the pandemic wanes, more people are driving to work and traveling, causing that increase in demand. Now you add in a global crisis caused by Russia.
We only get historically about 4% of our oil from Russia, but 10% of the world's oil is from Russia. And remember, we're competing against every other country and every other oil user out there for oil to make gasoline. It is something we're going to feel every time we fill up. It's also going to continue to drive inflation on all our other goods and services that rely on gasoline and crude oil to be shipped around.
Russia is also having an impact on our gas prices, but the U.S. is the world's largest producer of oil, and AAA says part of the problem is U.S. oil companies.
And while there is some increased production, many of the major oil development corporations and companies in the United States are opting not to produce more oil right now because they benefit from selling it at this very high price. Crude is trading at $120 right now. So if you're getting mad at anybody, I would say get mad at folks who are trying to make a dime for their shareholders at the expense of your wallet.
Also, another concern, Russia sells natural gas, and last week that hit a record high price in Europe. It was 10 times the price Europe was paying about a year ago.
The Biden administration is considering a visit to Saudi Arabia this spring. Axios reports the White House is thinking about repairing relations in hopes of convincing the kingdom to produce more oil. This move shows the gravity of the global energy crisis. Biden, of course, has criticized Saudi Arabia in the past, calling it a pariah during the 2020 campaign trail. The CIA also believes the Crown Prince was involved in the death of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. With gas prices only going up, we wanted to know if Colorado drivers are really ready to change their habits to save money.
Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live from Denver. And Christian, this increase could lead to some tough choices for us as consumers.
Yeah, we may be at that point for many people when it comes to changing those driving habits. A recent survey showed that Colorado drivers said that they would change their habits if gas got to around $3.75. We were at that price yesterday, and in just one day, it has gone up by 9 cents. And in that same survey that was done by AAA, it showed that drivers said that they would drive less, they would carpool, and sign up for fuel rewards programs to try to save some money. And your first thought when it comes to expensive price jumps like this may be to just use less gas, but that's not often an option for people, and records from the federal government showed that to be the case. Even when records were set back in 2008, consumption stayed constant. Now, so what gets cut when this happens? Well, we looked at the data, and an article from the New York Times profiled people who were trimming down their budgets to make room for spending on gas. Dining out, shopping, and leisure travel were among the first to go, and we heard some of that same stuff here.
As a retiree, I travel around town, but that's about it. It's not a problem for me right now. If it gets much higher, yeah, we probably won't travel much.
And some estimates show that people could lose about $2,000 each by the end of this year if these gas prices don't ease up. We're live in Denver this morning. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Christian. Well, we asked you on our Denver 7 Facebook page how your driving habits might change with the rising gas prices.
Marcia says she plans to shop only at neighborhood stores and won't take long trips to any place across town.
Tina says she's switching her car to economy mode because it uses premium gas.
Norm writes, looks like it's time to buy a horse and buggy. Yeah, or maybe a bicycle. We want to hear from you. With gas prices going up, how will you change your habits? Email us at 360@thedenverchannel.com or comment on our Facebook page.
Now to the war in Ukraine. The refugee chief of the United Nations says 2 million Ukrainians have fled the country. It comes as Russia declared a temporary ceasefire, allowing civilians in Ukraine's 5 worst hit cities to leave. Ukrainian leaders, though, are skeptical since previous ceasefire efforts have failed. A senior official tells ABC News there are indications Russia might attack a weapons supply chain in Poland before it ever gets to Ukraine. The Pentagon announced an additional 500 U.S. troops are headed to Europe to support NATO forces. Back here at home, Boulder County is making some progress in the Marshall Fire debris cleanup. Crews have finished applying hydro mulch to properties in Louisville and Superior. The mulch helps prevent toxins from the ash and debris from being moved by the wind or running into our local waterways. Meanwhile, there's a new hearing set for the lawsuit over Boulder County's debris removal contract. The suit claims county commissioners improperly convened executive sessions to talk about the contract with the company based out of Louisiana. The debris removal process was supposed to start last week. The hearing is now set for March 18th. Developers are coming up with a new high-tech solution to get supplies quickly to the front lines fighting wildfires. This autonomous drone runs on gas and electric power and can fly for up to 2 hours with up to 100 pounds of equipment on board, carrying things like hoses, fuel, and drinking water. Not only do they free up helicopter use, they can also fly anytime in very difficult locations, even when the smoke is thick.
We never have enough aerial resources, ever, and now we're fighting mega fires. Drones will bridge that gap.
Parallel Flight Technologies has been working on the drone since 2018. It is getting closer to getting a model on the market.
Still ahead, a popular state park in Colorado could soon require timed entry permits for certain times of year. And Frontier and Spirit Airlines are on track to merge, but Colorado's Attorney General isn't on board.